Hi, everyone, and welcome to A Strategy Alone is Not Enough. Here with myself, Simon Klein. And if you're here for the first time, again, this is the first time I'm sharing this presentation in the way I am going to share it. And it's going to be very important information as to why you may not be achieving success as a trader. It's based on many years of over a decade of training people and coaching people and seeing why, or asking why and understanding why they're not successful, and then enabling these traders to now become consistently profitable traders, which I've done consistently over the past 10 years. Here's a picture of me giving a presentation at the New York Traders Expo. And more recently, I was invited to speak in China at the Bogu Investment Forum. And I spoke along with, it was a huge privilege, along with finance ministers of various countries and a lot of other interesting people from basically a lot in China and from all over the world as well. Quick disclaimer before we begin: everything I mentioned here, I'll say on this presentation, is for educational purposes only. You can read the rest. Here's a little bit about me. I've been trading professionally now for over 16 years. You can read that. TradeSmart is a trading education business, and we focus on teaching you how to read the market professionally and how to run a successful trading business, including how to build your own trading plan and strategies which fit your personality and lifestyle. And you're going to hear more about that as we go on and why that is so important. And again, I started my professional life out of university working at Credit Suisse, originally not as a trader, but I did move to the trading floor eventually. So here's our agenda. That's what we're going to cover. We're going to cover what the problem is. And the problem is why a strategy alone is not enough. Just learning a strategy is not going to get you to become a successful trader. Going to cover the solution, what you really need to do in order to become a successful trader. And then I'll open up to audience questions and answers and share with you how you can take the next step. So here's the problem. If you look out, when I first started, there wasn't too much education, but now there are many trading education businesses out there, and it's kind of overwhelming. And everyone seems to, it's a shiny object syndrome. Everything seems good and it works, or it seems to work. And there are a lot of good traders out there that are educating. But the problem is most are focused on teaching you a strategy. Because guess what? From a marketing perspective, selling a strategy, which would mean that you don't have to do too much work, kind of is appealing, isn't it? Just follow this strategy and make money. But what is the problem with that? Well, the strategy may not fit you. And the problem is, if it doesn't fit you, what happens? You end up failing. Now, as I said at the beginning, I've mentored many traders over the years, and this is the problem. The strategy could be a great strategy. We're not even talking about a strategy that's not a strategy that works. We're talking about strategies that work, but they may not work for you. And one of the analogies would be this. Imagine you need to get across a mountain top. You need to go from one peak to the other. And your friend decides to do a tightrope walk. It works for him. That's a good way of getting across. That's a good strategy of getting from point A to point B. But guess what? You're scared of heights. So just because he can do it doesn't mean that you're going to be able to do it. So if you try and follow in his footsteps and try and do the tightrope walk, even if you trained a bit, you're not going to be able to do that without, it's not likely that you're going to get across. So wouldn't it be a better solution to take the bridge, for example, if you want to get, that's a different way of going from point A to point B. That strategy doesn't fit you, but there's another one out there that does. So this is a problem I find time and time again. I find people that are hopping from one course and one training to the next. They go through the whole training, but the training's focused on teaching them a strategy. And guess what? It doesn't work for you. Maybe it will work. It will work for some people if that strategy fits their personality and lifestyle. So let me just ask you guys in the chat area, and if you're watching this at home or watching a recording, you can send me an email to Simon at, my email address is down here. Well, tradesmartforex.com, just send me an email and let me know. Okay, I'd really love to hear from you. So the question is, what do you do about it? Well, if you were to go into a clothes shop and you wanted to buy a new suit, for example, and none of the sizes on the shelf fit, but they fit your friend, then just because it fits a friend doesn't mean it's going to fit you. You'd have to find your size, if you see what I mean. So you need to do the same with trading. So what's the solution? So let me know, in the chat area, or you send me an email, as I said before, if you've experienced this, you've gone through training, it seems to be working for other people, but it's not working for you. Now, again, this is a very big issue, especially if you want to succeed as a trader and everything you've tried up to now doesn't seem to be working for you. So what's the solution? So this is what I found to be the simplest and most powerful solution to this problem. Firstly, learn how to read the market professionally. Okay, I'm going to share with you how to do that shortly, or partly, the outline. The next thing you need to do once you know how to read a market, especially if you're a technical trader, and again, I'm talking about reading the market without any indicators, understanding how to read price alone. I'm going to share with you how to do that partly. The next thing you need to do, learning to read a market is not good enough. You need to know how to run a trading business. So you have to learn how to run a trading business. You need to learn about what I'm going to share with you shortly. I'm going to share with you everything you need to learn to run a successful trading business and the steps you need to go through. And then the final step that you need to take is to develop a style of trading that fits you. If going across a mountain or two mountain peaks via a tightrope doesn't fit you, you need to find another way of doing it that does fit you. It's okay to learn from other traders. You have to learn from other traders at the beginning. You need to learn the ropes, but then you need to, once you've got that knowledge, use that to develop a style of trading that fits you. And if you do that, you've got a higher chance of success. If you don't do that, the chances of success are slim unless you just happen to come upon a style of trading out of all the different methodologies that are out there that happens to fit you. So how do you find out what works for you? Well, these are things that you need to consider. You need to consider what your personality is. Are you conservative or aggressive? These are some of the things. There's a lot more, but they just give you an idea of things that you need to think about. You need to ask the question, am I patient or do I have a need for speed? Yeah. If you have a need for speed, then maybe becoming a scalping type trader may be for you. In, out. You want it to get in. You want to work on finding accurate entries, timing, and location, and getting in, getting the move, and getting out. If you've got patience, then you may want to be, maybe a long-term trader where you can sit through the market moves as it gets to a bigger target, sit through the pullbacks. Again, if you have a need for speed and you want to be in and out of trades quickly, then becoming a swing trader or a long-term trader may not be for you. And again, you have to consider your lifestyle. When can you trade? What time do you have? And that may determine what markets you can trade. You might not be able to trade. I moved over. I was an equity trader on the US. I started trading New York Stock Exchange equities. That was the beginning of my trading career. But guess what? The time of day when they were trading didn't suit me when I had children and they were coming back. I live in a different time zone. So for me, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time was 4:30 in the afternoon. And that was when my kids were coming back from school. So I wanted to spend time with them. So I had to move over to a different market. So I moved over from the equity market to the Forex market, futures market. So you have to decide, when you can trade may determine what markets you can trade. So if you're doing a course trading the New York Stock Exchange open, so you're looking at, which is what I used to do, looking at gaps on the New York Stock Exchange at the open and trading the gaps for the first half an hour, for example. If you can't trade that time, then that may not be for you because you may do the course, but you can't physically trade at that time. It doesn't fit your lifestyle. So these are things that you need to consider. So let's go now on to how to approach reading the market. So I believe if you want to become a professional chart reader and you want to understand what's going on these charts, then you need to understand three things. You need to understand pivot analysis, which is our view of reading the trend. We use it just using the candlesticks alone, no indicators needed. You have to understand where supply and demand are in the charts, and you can see there's zones. You have to understand what direction price is going in. That will give you, and again, understanding this is one type of analysis that replaces every single thing that you need to learn about Japanese candlesticks can be replaced with this. Is price going up or down? It's as simple as that. It's either going up or it's going down in terms of direction. Much like a lift. If the arrow is pointing up, the lift is probably going up. If the arrow is pointing down, it's going down. Lifts don't go sideways in terms of direction. They may stop for a little bit at a certain floor, but then they move in a direction, one or the other. It's as simple as that. And then you need to be able to do this on multiple time frames. So you have to understand how to read a trend. For example, the hourly trend may come to an end, the uptrend, in an area of daily supply, which may also be an area within a daily downtrend. For example, you can have an uptrend on the hourly chart, which happens to be a downtrend on the daily chart. And I'm going to share with you how you can do this training so you can understand trend in its simplest, most potent form, in its purest form towards the end of this presentation. So once you have, this is the important point if you read down here, once you have a framework for reading the charts, the markets are going to teach you. The charts are going to teach you everything you need to know once you have a framework. So within that framework, you're going to find what works for you, what you see happening time and time again in the market, what your eyes see or what you focus on is how you're going to develop a strategy. You can only develop a strategy once for what works for you. So you'll see certain patterns setting up on the market. For example, you may want to be buying pullbacks in uptrends. So you see that happening and you're happy to do that on a 1 minute chart. You want to be a scalper. So you buy pullbacks and you get in, get out, and that fits you. So that's what you focus on. And again, it's very important to focus on one thing when you begin. If you focus on too many things, you end up being an expert at nothing. So you want to focus on one thing first, become an expert, and focus on the thing that fits you, that fits your personality and lifestyle. So again, these are the three things that you need to understand on multiple time frames, on the backdrop of multiple time frames. Good. Okay, so let's get back to basics. And I want to just share with you how you can use this framework to understand any market, which may be different to what you may think the way in which you need to read the market based on the books. Again, this is not what you're not going to find this in a book. So this is a hammer and shooting star. You may find that in a book. Now, let me ask you a question about this candle over here, the shooting star. You can type it in the chat area or write it down if you're watching this at home or watching a recording. Is this candlestick bullish or bearish? Let's type it in the chat area. Okay, bullish or bearish? Now, I asked this question to an audience at the New York Traders Expo. And basically, it's the same question as asking this. Is this bar bullish or bearish? Same thing. Okay, Pete, Tom, bearish. Yeah, okay. And again, Dan is saying depends on previous trend. You're going to see how I'm going to answer this soon. So if we see this candlestick, and again, this is a trade we took in our trading room back in this date a few years ago. And I pointed this out, I took a picture and I was explaining this to the trading room. And this is, again, the same question I asked at the New York Traders Expo, and almost everyone put their hand up and said bearish. Now, the question is it really? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then let's go again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 6th bar after a big move up gives you a bar like this. So let's see how the market plays out. Market continues moving higher. And the question is, well, maybe it's a bullish bar, and this is how the market played out. So the question is this a bearish bar? Actually, it's a bullish bar. Most people think this, including myself when I first started trading. But what actually happens is the market continues moving higher. Now let's ask the question according to the framework that we had at the beginning, without going into the finer details of how to actually do that. But let's ask the question in terms of the pivot analysis. Are we going up or down? Well, here's a higher low. This is a higher high. So in terms of the pivot analysis, price is moving to the upside. Let's look now in terms of price direction. Price direction is, without going into the finer details, is pointing to the upside. So direction's up and the trend is pointing up. Now, in terms of supply and demand, this is a supply zone. Price pierced above the supply zone and the next supply zone is up here, which is where we had a move down. So price consolidated here. And again, beyond the scope of this presentation, how bases form and how to know that before they happen. That's the answer to this question. How to know that the market's going to base here before it pushes to the upside. And again, you can know that with a high degree of accuracy, depending on the scenario in the market, once you have that framework for reading the market. So I'm going through and asking those three questions, only on one time frame. So the next question, as we said, is we're above supply and the next supply zone's here. So we're going up. There's no supply to push us down. So in terms of trend, we're going up. In terms of price direction, we're going up. In terms of supply and demand, we're going to the next supply zone, which is here. And then we came back down and then we broke to the next level. So you have to know where those levels are. So here you see how to understand the market. This is one example, and how you can understand any market with a high degree of accuracy, what's happening by learning how to read the market professionally. Now, again, we use a three-pronged approach, and it's based on pure price action. People ask the question, where'd you get these lines from? Well, we learn how to draw them. Again, during the fuller training and in our trading room, you will see how we place these zones, and they're very, very accurate. We place them by understanding how to supply and demand works and how to spot that in the market. Now, this is your first step to learning how to trade if you're trading using charts. And most people nowadays are technical traders. Again, you can take, there's another approach, there's a fundamental approach. But I found when I was first taught, and again, I started on a trading floor and I was taught a little bit of fundamentals, and we used to look at the news and everything else like that. But in reality, what I found that sometimes good news came out and the market or the stock that I was looking at went down, and sometimes good news came out and the market or the stock went up, and likewise the other way around. So I couldn't figure out what the market was going to do based on the news, even though I tried for about 3 years to figure it out. There are people out there that know much more than I do, and I may not be privy to all the news that's available to make the correct decision. There may be other news that I didn't have, made available to me. And also, you have to say, when I was working on the trading floor, we used to subscribe to a news service, and we used to get the news 5 minutes before it hit everyone else, before it hit the general public. And again, that still didn't help. So I decided, let's focus on reading the market. Now, let me just tell you why this is so important. Because when I first started trading, I was taught the specialist system of trading on the New York Stock Exchange. And we were taught to spot what the specialist was doing and do the same. So the specialist was buying, we would buy. The specialist was selling, we would sell. We're looking at the time and sales and the open book and the prints going off to understand what the specialist was doing. And there were certain patterns we would see in price action that would give us a clue as to what the specialist was doing. So if the specialist was buying, we would buy. If the specialist was selling, we would sell. And that's how we traded on the trading floor. One of the first trading floor I worked on. The first trading floor I worked on as a trader. Now, the problem was a number of 6 months into trading this style of trading, and we were a very profitable trading floor, the New York Stock Exchange went partly computerized. So this was a long time. This was talking about 16 years ago. And what happened was the system that we were taught to trade no longer worked. So it was back to the drawing board. We were, technology changed the way or ruined our edge in the market, which was reading what the specialist was doing. It was no longer possible because it was part computer, part human. So it was back to the drawing board. And again, I went through a very kind of hard journey of going through trying different indicators and trying all different sorts of ways of trading until I decided to strip away all the indicators. Even though you see one down here, I just keep one on my chart, CCI, and I use it maybe 1% of the time. So I rarely use it, but I keep it on for one type of trading, for one style of trading basis that it's very useful to timing entries. So I decided I need to base my way of trading on a timeless system that I wouldn't have to relearn anything else. It's no good to master one thing and then technology changes and, well, you have to master something else now. It's no longer working. You don't want to be in that situation. So wouldn't it be a good idea to base your trading on something that's timeless? This is timeless. So now we've discussed an approach that you need to make in order to read the market. And then from there, you can go on to develop a strategy that works for you, that fits your personality and lifestyle. So here's what's very, very important to do now. You need to understand what your goals are. Here's the big question. Why? Why do you want to trade? Why is that so important? You need to ask the question, why are you doing this? This gives you a big picture reason. Do you really know why you want to trade? And guess what? To make money is not a good enough reason. There's many different things you can do to make money. You don't need to be trading. What is it about trading that attracts you? Remember one important thing. If you focus on money when you're trading, you generally lose. I don't know why, but it's tried and tested, not just by me, by many other traders. If you ask any trader who's focused on money while they're trading, they're generally losing. You want to focus on the process of fighting good trades and execution, taking the trades, and master yourself and master the markets. And I said master yourself, very important. So why are trading goals important? Because they give you focus and direction. They give you satisfaction when you achieve them. So even if you're not making money at the moment, you know you're moving towards your goals. You have to split up the end goal of becoming a consistently profitable trader into smaller goals, to milestones. And guess what? That gives you more of a positive trading experience. If you don't have that positive trading experience and you feel negative all the time, you come and you trade and you lose money, you lose money, you lose money. You make a little bit, but then you lose, you lose, you lose. It's very hard to keep going if you don't feel you're making any progress. So what are your trading goals? And you need to write them down. For example, it could be to acquire expertise in reading the market. That's the first thing you want to do. You want to make sure that you can read the market. And we have tools that can speed up the process big time. Okay, if you come and join our trading room, I'll share with you some of the tools that we use to actually, and how to go about training yourself to read the market very well, very quickly. Okay, and again, it's no good looking at charts after the market's played out. You want to make the decisions before the market's played out. You want to see what the market looks like before it plays out into a winning trade, so that you can spot exactly what that setup looks like, so that you can see, so you can act on it the next time. And you have to train yourself like anything else. You've got to set challenging and feasible goals. You've got to set goals according to your level of mastery. So setting a goal at the beginning, like day one, I'm going to make $1 million a year, is probably not realistic. After you've been trading for 3 years and you're consistently profitable and you're making, I don't know, what, $200,000 a year, then maybe setting a goal to make $1 million in a year may be more reasonable. So you've got to set realistic goals, and that leads to a sense of accomplishment and progress, which will keep you going. Now, here's a very important question. How committed are you? Will you invest in education and training, or will you try and wing it by yourself? Yeah, and again, it's not just investing in education and training are two different things. Education is learning what you need to know, and training is actually doing it. Sometimes working with a coach. Actually going through the process of putting what you learn into practice, that's training. A bit like you can learn the theory of driving, but you need the training. You need to actually get in the car and drive, usually with a driving instructor sitting next to you. But you can learn all the theory of it, but until you actually get in and do it, that education is not put into practice. So you don't have any feedback. You need to be able to do something, get feedback, what's working, what's not, and make adjustments. And the next thing is, will you work on yourself? Say, for example, you're trying to get for bigger targets. And every time the market pulls back, you get out, you get scared, you start seeing your P&L, if you're watching it, go less and less. You're seeing your profits diminish. And then you hit the sell button or the buy button, depending on which side of the market you're on, and you get out. And then you watch the market turn around and go all the way to your target, and you're not in it. So you got to ask yourself, what caused that? And when you're in the same situation again, what are you going to do? You're going to keep doing the same thing. You'll keep getting the same results. You need to make a change. You need to know what the problem is and work on yourself so that you don't do that self-destructive or that sabotage-like behavior again. So you need to realize, you need to recognize what the problem is. So you need to be able to track what you're doing. And I'm going to share with you how to do that shortly. Will you learn from your mistakes and failures? Will you do whatever it takes? Do you have that commitment that you're willing to do whatever it takes? Are you going to do that? Now, again, most people, if you would realize what you had to go through to become a successful trader, then many people may not even start. It just looks super easy at the beginning. Yeah, you just open an account, put some money in and start trading. Yes, maybe you get some beginner's luck. And I can tell you the first trading floor I worked on as a trader, the people that made money at the beginning are no longer trading. So having success right at the beginning, what you call beginner's luck, may not be lasting. Sometimes it's better to lose at the beginning and learn from that situation. Keep your size small when you start out. If you don't know what you're doing, why do you want to risk big size on it, big money on it? You don't. You want to keep it small. So this is the thing that you need to do. Once you have a way of reading the market, you need to define your edge. So what is an edge? Well, that's an advantage you have over others. What exactly is a technical edge in the market? That's recognizing when the odds in the market are in your favor. Who's on the other side of your trade? If you don't know, then maybe you're the novice trader. Do you know what your edge is? If you cannot clearly explain what your edge is, guess what? You don't have one. And here's what many of you don't want to hear. If you don't have an edge, do not trade. Don't trade until you do have one, and you can explain in clear terms why you're doing what you're doing. Now, the question is, you may have an edge. Here's the next question. Have you proven it? Does your edge have a positive expectancy? That means, will you make money over time? And it may have a positive expectancy, but can you successfully trade your edge? Someone else may have it may be an edge or a strategy with a positive expectancy, but you may not be able to put it up. That's what we said at the beginning. So you need to prove to yourself that you can actually do it. So here's what you need to have in your trading framework. You need to have a trading plan. Now, if you don't have a trading plan, do not trade. Within the trading plan, these are some of the things that you need to put in. Money management rules, risk management rules, and you need to have your trading strategies. A trading strategy isn't a trading plan. A trading strategy is part of a trading plan. So you need to have a plan, like a business needs to have a plan. This is the business of trading. So you need to have a plan. Any business that fails to plan, as the saying goes, fails to plan, then you plan to fail. Okay. I remember speaking to someone not so long ago about a business they were starting. They were full swing in the business. I said, where's your business plan? And they showed me a Post-it note with a few things written on it. I said, that's not a business plan. And I said to myself, that person's going to fail. And unfortunately, that person lost over £2 million of investment in a business that did not work because it wasn't planned properly. Now, just because you plan it doesn't mean it's going to work, but you don't have any chance if you don't plan it. But if you do have a plan, you can adjust your plan as you're learning to trade so that you find something that works for you. And once you have something that works for you and an edge, you will make money over time if you can do it. And you can prove that you can do it. You need to trade knowing that you have an edge that makes money. Otherwise, what are you doing? You're not going to do a job in your house, like an electrical job, if you've got no idea, the live from the neutral or from the earth. You'll probably end up electrocuting yourself. You need to know a little bit about, if you wouldn't wire a plug if you didn't know which wire to put where. You need to have a plan. You need to know what to do. And then you can do it with confidence once you know what to do. A plan is not good enough. You need to have a trading log. You need to log your trades. If you don't log your trades, having your broker log your trades, which they do, is not enough. You need more information. You need to know so you can actually get information about how you're performing as a trader. And you need to journal. Now, journal is journaling you. You need to journal. I've got journals that are going back, since the beginning. And I can see how I developed as a trader and the issues I was having like 10 years ago, for example, or 15 years ago, and how that formed, how that became into the, how I became the trader I am now because of that. All the hardships I went through became my strengths now. My ability to be able to mentor and coach traders because I've been through the same journey that they are going through. So I know where they are and I know what you need to do to get to the next level. If you fall down a pothole, how do you get out? So having someone who's got out before and helped other people get out, wouldn't that be useful for them to guide you to get out so that you can make progress and achieve your goals? So again, you need a trading journal. Now, you've got the framework. Now, what do you do with it? Well, guess what? Like anything else, you need to have a process. So you need to have routines that you go through. For example, you have a preparation routine. What do you do before you trade it? Ask yourself 2 questions. Am I ready to trade? If you're not ready to trade, then don't trade. If you're rushing to go out, then, and you've got 3 minutes to take a trade and you just open up the charts and look, that may not be the way to trade. Or the next thing you need to ask, is the market ready? Now, as a beginning trader, you need to search. I used to ask, how do I find a good setup in the market? What does it look like? Well, guess what? Once you know what you're looking at, then the market starts speaking to you. It's like a language. The market communicates. It says, here's a trading opportunity. It just jumps out once you've trained yourself. So you don't need to ask anymore. The trading opportunities will find you. I know it sounds very strange to say that, but that's the truth. You will see as you progress as a trader, the market speaks to you loud and clear once you know how to read it, how to listen to it. So you need to ask yourself these 2 questions. If either of the questions here is no, do not trade. You're not trading in peak performance. You need to be in a peak state to trade. Number 1, there needs to be opportunity and you need to be ready. Just like, if you're not feeling well, then say you're a pilot and you're not feeling good and you're running a fever and you can't see straight, then maybe not a good idea to fly the plane. But also, if you check the plane, all the controls and everything before you take off and you find out there's no fuel, that may not be a good idea to take off either. So you've got to check yourself and check that there's opportunity. You need patience to wait for the market to show you your edge. And then you need discipline to execute your trading plan, which again, once you've practiced it and trained, is easy to do. Imagine you're a tennis player and you're practicing forehand again and again and again and again and again. So when you get a forehand in a real match, you've practiced it. You just do what you practiced. If you don't practice, how are you going to do it? And if you practice with a coach, remember most tennis players have coaches, then they can improve their game and really bring the best in themselves out. That's the quickest and surest way, and actually the cheapest way to become a successful trader, is to work with a coach. Because if you do it yourself, you end up paying to the market in losing trades. And it's much more frustrating. Having someone work with you and help you get to your goals, if you can't do it yourself, is a better way to go. And you need to keep your psychology and emotions in check. Now, again, I believe that if you don't know what you're doing, then your emotions are, all over the place. If you do know what you're doing, as in that's called competence, that leads to confidence, and confidence leads to success. So if you don't know what you're doing, how are you going to feel confident? If you don't have competence, how can you feel confident? You need to have confidence in your ability before you have the competence, though. Otherwise, you would never try anything, because at the beginning of anything that we try, we don't have competence. But you need to have confidence in yourself. But once you build competence, then you'll have confidence in your ability, in your skills to actually, in this case, to become a good trader. So you need to keep track in your trading journal of your emotions. Are there any emotional issues that are causing you to jeopardize your trades, to sabotage your trades, to do things that you shouldn't be doing that you know afterwards I shouldn't be doing? And you need a way of measuring your progress. So here's a trading process example. You need to prepare yourself to trade. Analyze the markets you trade with a view to finding trading opportunities. Wait for the market to show you a trading opportunity in your trading plan. That's part of the framework. Take a trade. Take the picture of the trade entry. Write an entry in your trading journal. Manage the trade according to your trading plan. Take a picture of the trade when it's completed. Take a picture of what happened next. Enter the trade in your trading log. Write an entry in your trading journal. Okay, these are the things. And again, if you want, take a picture of the screen, write it down. Go through this process. Now you're running your trading as a business. If you don't know how to write a trading plan, a lot of people don't, it's not as difficult as you think. It's actually super easy. Once you have a way of reading the market and you know how you want to trade, you can put a trading plan down in a couple of hours. Then you've got to go through testing it, and that's a whole process as well. How do you prove it works? So let me share with you a success story. Jane came to me a few years ago, and with really no experiences of trading. And she managed to go through the training. She went through how to read the trend, which I'm going to share with you. She came and joined our trading room, and then she put what she learned into practice and became a consistently profitable trader in 3 months. If you come and join our community, she's live on our Discord server, which you can join on the premium channels, and she shares with you exactly what she does. And she's been consistently profitable now for over 3 years, and she's getting better and better all the time. And this is what she said about the training that she went through. All I can say to anyone who wants to consistently profit, just do it. That training turned my whole trading around. From that day on, my trading has been so consistent. It is really mind-blowing. Once you understand the levels and can read the trend, you will beat the market every single day. However, the key is follow the pivot analysis, use the demand and supply levels, and adapt it to your own trading style. Be very disciplined. Don't be greedy. Stop when you've made your daily profit, and you will turn losing trades into winning consistently day in, day out. Simon's training can be adapted to any market. She mainly trades in NASDAQ futures, and she uses her own strategy based on my education. I found the best thing was knowing what you were doing gives you confidence in the trades, and the fear of losing was gone. Trading had become a lifestyle, no longer a binary gamble or nervous hope job. Believe me, it's the best and only training to succeed with. So the best investment you can make in life is in yourself. As Jim Rohn said, for things to change, you have to change. For things to get better, you have to get better. But let your knowledge lead to action. Learn something and put it into action. If you learn something, you don't do anything with it, what was the point? So learn it, put it into action. So now you've seen a simple and powerful approach to learning how to trade, which is learning how to read the market, which is a framework for reading any market. Then taking that knowledge and building for yourself a trading plan with a strategy that fits your personality and lifestyle, understanding how to log your trades, how to journal your trades, and the process to go through, then it's a good idea now to take the first step and learn how to read the trend, which is session 1 of how to read the market professionally. This is how to read the trend using pivot analysis, standalone training. Now, this is what the benefits of knowing how to read the trend are. And again, just this alone can help you become a successful trader. You can trade in the direction of the trend. The trend is your friend. Most people forget the end of it until the bend in the end, which is usually where the trend meets supply or demand, or an opposing trend on the higher time frame. Know when the trend begins and know when a trend ends. Almost every single trade that we take are based on trend changes, where the downtrend ends. In demand is where the uptrend starts to go, or where the market starts to move to the upside. Make sure you're never fighting the trend. Again, it's worth waiting until at least you're not fighting the trend. If you want to buy, make sure you're not in a downtrend. Wait for the trend to break. Make sure you're on the right side of the market. And develop a profitable trading strategy once and for all that fits you. Or you can enhance an existing trading strategy. If you already have one that may not be working, just layer this on top and maybe it will be profitable now. So here's an invitation for you to take the next step. Now, again, as I said at the beginning, and I'll say this now, if I didn't share this with you, then I wouldn't be helping you get to the next level. So the fact that I'm sharing with you how to take the next step is because I want to help you get on to the next step. Now, I can't promise it's going to work for everyone, but if you put in the work, it may work for you as it's done for many people that have come before you. So this is what you're going to learn. You're going to learn how to identify the current trend of the market, to analyze a trend in multiple time frames, exactly when a trend begins and exactly when a trend ends, and how this knowledge will dramatically affect your bottom line. And you can watch us analyze and trade in the live markets in real time. So here's what people are saying. Francesco, when I first watched How to Read the Trend module, I must admit I did not appreciate the power of pivots and the interrelationship with supply and demand. Honestly, I thought it was more of a good education module for beginners, talking about what a candle is. And of course, I was smart enough to be able to read the trend already. Now, after having been a few days in the live trading room, seeing some pretty uncanny results, something clicked. I decided to rewatch the first education module. Now I can see that it is really a lot more powerful than it first appeared to be. And it is quite deep. Sometimes we don't see what's right in front of our noses, as the old saying goes. I would say now that I know things about reading the trend that I did not have a clue about before doing your first module. The first thing I'm thinking is, why didn't I do this 25 years ago when I started? Johan, as a new trader, I jumped from one strategy to another, always looking for the magic source. I literally spent thousands of hours in various forums, blew up numerous accounts, and bought tons of online courses. After a while, I realized that most of this material is produced by people like myself, wannabes, without experience, who want to survive while learning how to trade for real. What struck me when I came across Simon's material was his true understanding of price action. He managed to condense all of this vague and ambiguous information to a few clear and fundamental set of rules and principles. I have to date probably seen his material a dozen times, and I always discover new details that are key in my now profitable trading plan. When people ask me for advice, I often say that Simon and TradeSmartForex.com offers everything you need, nothing more, nothing less, and I'm sure that his genuine interest in you as a trader will enable you to reach your goal far more quickly than most other alternatives. Tom, I wanted to say, I think what you teach in How to Read the Trend training course is brilliant. Before that, I picked up bits and pieces from different traders, but it was never joined up. Your course brought it all together in a very structured and algorithmic way. No guessing needed. The facts jump off the chart. You are a mastermind. Matt, the trading room is very helpful in understanding how to go through the process. That's the process we discussed earlier. I've been trading for 11 years and I have not seen anything like what you do. Love how simple it is. I mainly trade options with trades that last 30 to 60 days. I've been looking for something I could use to day trade for 2 years now. I want to round out what I'm doing with another source of profits. I've not been able to find anything I could execute consistently. Just paper trading with your system, and I've been doing it for a couple of weeks now, and I've had far better results than anything I have ever tried. Marcus, Simon's probably one of the best coaches out there with a heartfelt passion for coaching and a real understanding of how the market works. He helps you view everything in a new way. The way he teaches is also really good. He goes through it until you understand. I can honestly say that I've gotten more out of this training than I expected. So let me share with you what you get. It's about 1.5 hours. Won't take you that long. You can go over it as many times as you want. It's on demand. No limits to the number of times you can watch it. You get personal access to me. You can ask me any questions. But more importantly, you're going to get 1 month access to the live trading room. That's usually $470 a month, but the first month is free. Yeah. And you're also going to get access to our online trading communities 24/7 via our Discord server. You can join our premium channels where our traders share with you their trades and what they're doing and how they're improving themselves. Sometimes traders trade live together. Here's an example of what it looks like. This is our 24/7 trading community. So you can see people ask questions, people, posting what they're making and trades ahead of time. Sometimes they're analyzing what the game plan is for the day. For example, trading the E-minis. This is best trade, worst trade. We've added some new channels in here. We have premium channel for our trades. And let me just share with you. I can actually show you what it looks like right now. So here's, for example, here's best trade, worst trade. We also have, if you go back to, this is a premium channel. Oh, one second. We have, where's the premium channel? Trading ideas premium. So you can see people sharing trading ideas here. If you go back, and also videos of how the trades work, what to look out for. Even recordings of how to trade gaps at the open, and so on and so forth. So that's, invaluable, priceless to be part of a community of, and there's a lot of successful traders in this community. So here's the offer. And again, if I don't share this with you, you would not know how to take the next step. Okay, so I want to share with you what you can do. So the regular price is $894. It's 397 plus 497. Yeah, the deadline's 2 days from now, and you will receive $497 up, as in the first month in the live trading room is free. So you just pay $397. Now I'm going to share with you, this is a link that you can go to. Again, you can't click on this, but you do is write it into your browser, and maybe David, you can put it in the chat. It's tradesmartforex.com with the number 4x.com/promo. Yeah. And again, this is what you get. You get how to read the trend, which is $397. 1 month in the live trading room, $497, a total of $894. But today, or for the next 2 days, you'll get it for $397. Now, let me show you the checkout process. And again, you can follow along with me if you're watching this live, and if you're watching the recording, again, click on the link and follow along. And I'll just show you what it looks like. So this is my website. And again, once you get in, once you sign up, you'll get your login credentials, and you can come to the website and just click on members. So you'll come to a checkout, a kind of sales page over here, which says how to read the trend plus trading room. You see the deadline. You click on buy now. You can read about what we just went through. And again, you can click on here, which will bring you to the checkout. Now you enter all your details here. And I want to point your attention to this. It says $497 monthly, but that's after the first month. The first month is $397. So you're just paying, you're getting the trading room free. You're just paying for how to read the trend. Yeah. And you can cancel at any time. You can cancel immediately if you never want to be rebuilt again. Again, that's not the point. The point is to be in the trading room if it's going to be beneficial to you. I don't want you in there if it's not beneficial to you. And you fill out all your details. And again, you have to agree to terms and conditions over here. And if you click that, you submit payment, and off you go. You'll get emailed pretty much immediately, your username and password. And then you come into the members site, which looks like this. The education and training, how to read the trend, is in here. The trading room is in here. Now, again, if you go into education and training, you don't get access to all of this. You get access to how to read the trend, which is a standalone, even though it's part 1 of how to read the market professionally, but it stands alone. It's a unit that you can learn in and of itself. And then everything to do with the trading room is here. And also to join our Discord community, just click at the top here. It says click here to join our community on Discord. And then once you get in there, just let me know the email that you signed up with, and I'll give you access to the premium channels as well. So you can be with other traders, communicate, ask questions. Everyone's there to help each other. That's what the community is. Like-minded individuals, everyone's sharing and helping each other get to the next level with their trading. And there's some very, very successful traders in there. So you can learn from them. They're willing to share with you and help you. So the live trading room, you click at the top here, and it brings you in, and you'll see the schedule and everything if you click on here. Every trading room session, the daily sessions, are recorded. So if you can't make it live, you can watch the recording. And again, there's a lot of value in that. I have people that just watch the recordings, even though they pay the monthly subscription to the live trading, because they get so much value and it helps them trade And they're successfully trading now because of that. And we have a weekly preparation session, which happens to be also a standalone subscription, but it's part of the live trading room subscription as well. It's also separate, but if you're part of the live trading, you get this as well. And you can come live. We have a preparation session where we actually place our supply demand zones and come up with a game plan for the week. And we're pretty much spot on most of the time. You'll see for yourself, come in and you'll see and be amazed how this works, how simple it is and how powerful it is and how it works. People ask, how do you know it works? Well, guess what? Come and see. Not just, how the levels work, how price just turns around when it gets to the levels. How do you know when a level is going to break? All those sorts of things you'll see happening in real time. I'll give you one example that happened this week. And if we go and have a look, this is a base over here. So we said that 3 steps ahead of the market, we said the market's likely to, if you look at, this is the base here. We said the market's likely to break above the base. We said that before it happened, it's going to break, but don't trust the move up. It's probably going to come back in and then break below. That's what it did. And it hit this demand level today and bounced back up to, this is supply. So we're having a bit of an issue here. So understanding, this is 3 moves ahead, understanding the market's going to break out and then fail and then come below. So you're not buying here. And if you do that, for example, it enables you to trade, for example, the yen pairs. So if I show you the other side of that, you can see that if we go like even the dollar yen over here, you can see that so far that this week was on the buy side until today. When the yen was moving up, let's move back down. See, went all the way through these levels, all the way back down to here. And you can see the base down, up, and back in again. And we also said that this was understanding supply and demand, that this level is probably going to break. And you can see it did it this week as well. Went above. Hasn't closed above, but it's broken. So understanding how to, how to do this. So what I'm going to do now, again, if you want, go to this link, click on it. And for those of you who've joined up now, I look forward to welcoming you. Come and join us tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern time in the live trading room. You can have a look at the, let's, one second. You can go to my website if you want, and you can see if you go to here, so services live trading room, you'll see that the regular subscription is, I'm not making this up. If you go down to start trade, you can see that 1 month is $497. Yeah. So, again, you can have a sneak peek of what goes on if you're here in the trading room, and that is it. So what I'm going to do now is open up to any questions that you may have. We've got a few minutes. Let's have a look. And do you use supply and demand zone software? No, I don't. I don't use any software for supply and demand. I do it myself. Again, I'll teach you how to do that. Again, that's in the more complete training. But again, if you learn by watching other people do it, you'll pick it up from being in the trading room as well. How we put our zones on. You'll pick it up by just watching how we do it. That's another way. People learn differently. If you learn by doing and watching, then that may help you. But no software. I don't use, again, everything I do can be done on any charting software. All you need is Japanese, plain vanilla Japanese candlesticks. You don't need anything special. Okay. And again, I want to make an important point here. The trading room is there to educate you. It's not there for you to just copy the trades, even though you can copy the trades we're doing, we call out. But most people that are in the trading room have their own trading plans, and we're looking and reading the market, and everyone's trading according to their plan. I'll give you one example. I can be on the long side of something during the trading room. Yeah. And I could have another trader there on the short side, and we're both profitable, but we're getting in for different reasons on different time frames, if you see what I mean. So one trader could be scalping the pullback, whereas I'm sitting through the pullback, if you see what I mean, going for a bigger move to the upside. Okay, we've got like kind of out of time. So what I'm gonna do is thank everyone for being here. I hope what I share with you will help you, at least give you something to think about to help you get on track with your trading. Remember, I've been training traders for many, many years now. And the biggest problem most of these traders had, the ones that weren't new, was they've been jumping around from training to training and nothing seems to be working for them. So until they come here. And finally, it's liberating to actually see them go on to become successful traders. And again, I can't promise that, but there's a pretty good chance if you learn this and put it into practice and do the work that is necessary, you'll get yourself on track as well. So you have a YouTube channel that you can join over here. And again, you can also get that from my website as well. And again, the link to join, costs $397 for the whole month. You get the training, you can access it for life as long as the system's up, and learn something and go and see for a very small price, $397, you know, it's not a lot, whether this is for you. If it is, then you're in the right place. And I look forward to welcoming you tomorrow in our live trading room. If you're watching this now, if you're watching another time, I look forward to seeing you at the next live session we have. Thanks a lot, everyone. And thanks, David, for having me here.